This week's workout is a 7-minute AMRAP. 7 handstand push-ups, 7 overhead squats, 7 burpee box jump overs. For the burpee box jump overs, it's a 24 or a 20-inch box. You can do those however you'd like. You can do them lateral, you can do them facing. You can jump over the box if you'd like. The overhead squat weight is 115 and 85. And for the handstand push-up, we have a new standard. There's 4 key points to this. If you want to see that standard, you can head over to our other video that covers tips and strategy that's also posted now. For those of you that are gonna do this workout with us on Saturday, in this video we have a demo of Travis Mayer, Jackson Drohan, and Mike McGoldrick, 3 of our on-site athletes doing the workout. Enjoy. Alrighty, we're about to watch a demo. Travis Mayer, the Wad Slayer. Next to him you got Jackson Drohan, who's been a teen athlete at Wadapalooza, and Mike McGoldrick, who was 1934 Rookie Games Athlete of the Year on the far right of the screen. Travis went out at a pace to try to beat me by 3 rounds because I went in the earlier heat. I did 5 flat, so he tried to do 8. You'll see whether or not he does that, but that was a pretty aggressive pace. And Travis generally does go out. He goes out fast pace first round, settles into some sort of a pace in the middle, and then tries to kick at the end. So this first round, I went from the wall back to the wall on the round times. First round split was 41 seconds. The movement standard didn't seem to affect him at all. Just the hand width was almost exactly the same. I think he got an extra inch on his box, and his feet are normally relatively narrow and hips are not off the wall. It actually impacted Jackson. I gave him some no reps as he was going, mostly for the feet width at the top. But for Trav, it wasn't really an issue. This lateral box jump strategy, you can watch as he goes. He's just way faster through the burpee box jump overs. If you watch Mike's finishing his overhead squats and he's jumping up right now and he does the forward, rotate, step off version, you can just see rep per second how much faster Travis is. Jackson adopted that same strategy as well, where he was stepping off the box, and while it saves energy, you obviously lose time. So it's kind of a analysis you got to go through for yourself to figure out what makes sense. That second round for Trav was 49 seconds, so he's still going pretty fast. But you can see even still, like, he kind of gets into it now. He's taking a couple extra breaths at the top. It's not like he's redlined, but he's definitely got to a point of fatigue where I don't know if he realizes it or if he just does it subconsciously, where his pace just throttles back and he kind of finds something, you know, that a pace that he thinks he can get to the finish line while maintaining without losing movement quality, without losing too much movement speed. But you can see, like, obviously that initial pace of trying to go at 8 was a little unsustainable. So he puts in some little rest breaks throughout, just standing up, getting extra breath. He did it on the overhead squats, but he's still holding a real fast pace. So this round he's finishing 55 seconds. So 41, 49, 55 for the first 3. You could see Jackson, you know, farther behind. He's still on the overhead squats the last round.
How old is he?
I think Jackson's 19 or, yeah, he's either somewhere between 18 and 20. Or no, he was in the teen division last year, so he's probably 19 at the oldest. Mike, I think, is 47, so it's a good contrast of age there. All right, so we are in round 4. Trav finishes the overhead squats. I think for the elites, there's no real, like, break of movements on here. I mean, I guess it just, you can kind of get a break on the burpee box jump overs. Oh, and then there's Jackson busting his ass on the box. If you want to rewind that and see him. Thought it was just a pretty impressive athletic display not to bust his ass and just end up straddling the box after falling off. And credit to him for just continuing to go and not stopping or even thinking about it. All right, now Trav fell off his pace pretty big, 110. What I was saying before I watched Jackson fall over the box was the movement and rep scheme here is such for elites that they're just gonna do pretty much unbroken movements, and then they're regulating their pace pretty much through just taking a little bit longer transitions. The movement speed, like if you went and took Travis's time to complete 7 overhead squats in his first set versus now, it would be slower, but you're only losing a couple of seconds. there versus the transition times. Like you can just see right here, that like extra 2 breaths before he starts, that like sense of urgency starts to fall off where they're just like trying to recover themselves. For people doing this workout that don't have the capacity, like we had a bunch of people in the throwdown on site have to break up their overhead squats or have to break up their handstand push-ups at some point throughout the workout. So if you're one of those people, using Travis as a model might not make sense. You might want to just plan a force break in the overhead squats or a force break in the handstand push-ups to ensure you can keep that sense of urgency throughout. That next round was 107. So you can see Trav's 41, 49, 55. So fast 3 rounds. Then he's 110, 107 for his next 2. So he's definitely slowing down, but I think he's found a sustainable work output for the movements and then a slower work output for transitions. And then it seems like he's using the overhead squats here for a chance to like pause at the top, get an extra breath. So he's still doing them unbroken, but he's not doing them in a fast repetitive sequence and then taking a little bit more time before the burpee box jump overs. I found that combination going overhead squat, burpee box jump over to be really taxing on my legs, especially just the landing on the top of the box. So I started with this lateral box jump over technique, mostly because Travis convinced me it was way better. You see Trav taking a little rest here. But I did 1 round like that and my quads were already starting to lock up. So I was like, all right, I got to do facing. And I probably would have been better off having done that and just started off at a slower cadence right off the bat. I think that's probably true for most people in a workout that's like this that you've never done before. So 114 was that round. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds done at 5:56, getting on the wall for his last round. And then you can see like an athlete that knows the finish line is coming, they always have that like extra push gear. So now he's squatting fast again. He's taking a little pause at the top, but it's still less pronounced, and he's trying to get through this quick because he knows that the time is almost up. So he's basically trying to accumulate all the reps that he can. He's got 30 seconds to finish now, so burpee box. Oh, push Chris. Get Chris out of the way. What kind of camera work is this? And then his burpee speed and cadence picks back up here where there's no like, resting at the bottom. He's definitely not like going full. He's probably going full speed or full effort, but not full speed, just as a result of the fatigue and the pressing and shoulders. Runs over, good awareness, getting every handstand push-up rep he can. That last round was 58 seconds. So as we go through them, it's 41, 49, 55, minute 10, minute 7, minute 14, 58. So it's pretty in line with how Trav normally executes. I think if he video reviews this and he wanted to redo it, which he won't because he's getting ready for Rogue and this is just kind of like a fun workout to prepare for, he'd probably slow down that original pace a tiny bit and try to eat out some of the transition times in rounds 4, 5, and 6. And maybe try to get through some of the overhead squats of that 8th round. But overall, I think that was a pretty good execution. You can look at Jackson or Mike for a little bit of a slower model to pace yourself and work your own training structure around for this throwdown. And good luck,
everybody.